Starting your own business always sounds exciting until you're actually in it. Join myself, Michael, and my best friend Daniel on this journey that we are going on, building something from scratch in our home countries of South Africa and Namibia, figuring things out as we go. No playbook, no guarantees, just an idea. This is episode 1, where it all begins.
Yo, just arrived. It's gonna be a good weekend
In the Nosta.
in the Nosta.
3, 2, 1, cut. Rolling into episode 1 of starting our business. Dan, we've come away on a little business retreat to sort of kickstart things for the year. What was your intentions coming into the weekend?
Yeah, I must say, coming into this weekend, I was really excited just to be able to bounce ideas off each other. I know we've now set on what the business is that we're going into, but now this is more of the way forward, the planning phase, strategizing, looking at what we need to get done so that this machine we're building can get fully rolling. So my intention was just to be able to get a good idea of that and put some things into action, man. What would you say has your experience been so far in finding the business idea and being able to move forward from there, like even getting to that business idea?
Yeah, so obviously Dan and I have been on this journey of ETY for quite a while, but I think we've always wanted to have an element where we went into something that is more entrepreneurial, more so than being an influencer or something like that.
Yeah.
They sort of go hand in hand. That's how we've always wanted to do it. So yeah, I think we've always had that dream of starting some kind of business together, and that really sort of culminated, I'd say, end of last year, where we came to the conclusion like, okay, cool, now it's time, to implement that sort of business side of things. And I remember initially we both had a few different ideas of like businesses to start. Some we were spitballing at different ideas, and some not too bad ideas, things that maybe one could have implemented. But we then kind of brought up the idea of going with the existing business that you started a few years back.
Yeah.
So, and that was a business that had a lot of potential, but just never really was able to sort of launch to its full potential. So that, I think that felt like the most attractive option because there was already some groundwork that had been done.
Yeah.
And all that it involved to get started was essentially, obviously for myself to get into the business, we had to approach the existing shareholders and see if we can buy some of their equity. We were able to do that with a few of the members, but now it's myself, yourself, and 2 other members that we've got running this business. And now we break away for a moment to ask a couple of questions to our founding members of H&B.
So, what's it like working with Michael? That's a good question. I've been friends with Michael for a long time. I think coming up a decade, if it's not a bit more now. And through our relationship, we've been able to build a good understanding of how to go about things. We know each other, we know our strengths and weaknesses, and we're able to call each other out on things and we're able to, or I'm able to tell Michael, listen, maybe we can do this a different way, or maybe you should do this a different way, and he can do the same for me. So getting back into business with Michael, well, me getting back into the business that started and then getting Michael tagged into it, it's just also something that's going to work because we've got that understanding, we've got that relationship that's been built, and we know that we can drive something and we can keep each other accountable and push each other to keep driving. And another thing is we've got a good understanding of how to work with finances between the both of us. There's no weirdness that comes about it. There's a real professionality that comes from that, and that's even just being as friends, but now taking it into a business perspective. So I'm looking forward to work with Michael because I know he's a very bright mind and he's going to be able to run this business with me in a principled way, in a way where we uphold values and standards and we bring in a lot of discipline, and that is what's going to make us grind through the ups and the downs, being able to tell each other like, let's get through this, let's not give up, let's keep going. And yeah, I just look forward to building this with my best friend and seeing where it goes and being able to bring this into BTY from the documentary side of things. So yeah, that's episode 1, and we look forward to taking you along on our journey.
What is it like to work with Daniel, you say? Um, well, Daniel and I have been working on, as you mentioned, BTY for the last 4 years. But prior to that, our history is actually just being pretty much best friends since we were the age of like 12 or even like 10, I think actually grade 3, grade 4. So we've obviously got a foundation of friendship that we've been able to build up over the last how many years. But it's quite a different friendship in that we've been able to, especially since towards the end of high school, we kind of always had like a similar mindset when it comes to long-term things, working on business. So, and we've been able to go all those years without actually getting sick of each other yet. So that's why I also believe, like, yeah, I think going into business with Dan was something that I believed that I wanted to do. Um, of the people I've met in my life, I think he was the person that I believed, could make a success of something like that with. And we also have different areas of expertise. So, yeah, looking forward to starting this business with Dan. I believe that it's not going to be easy. I think there's going to be hard times. I think there's going to be a bit of a struggle. But I also believe that we've gone through enough already that those kind of things come, and then we'll just work through that. And at the end of the day, we're going into something that we enjoy doing, and even doing, the documentary as well. I just believe that it's going to be something that we enjoy doing, which will also help us to get through those kind of moments. What do you think will be, although initially our idea was maybe to start something that with just you and I were running, what do you think the advantages is of having two other partners on board?
Yeah, so in that, the advantages would be that we've got more brains that are working together trying to make this thing work, ideas that we could get and implement into the business, as well as then it helps with resources, capital wise, because then it's not a load that we're going to be bearing alone. So I would say that makes for two good advantages, as well as being able to spread the load of the work that we need to put in to getting this thing off the ground. So yeah, like you said, it's a business that has been active before, though for the last year it's been inactive. So we've had to look at the process of getting it back into active status and just making sure we've got the groundwork's done. So that's currently what we're busy with, so that we do this thing properly. I know when I initially started it off, I was still in university and I was just trying to get things started, and like it did grow and it did generate a bit of an income, but it wasn't to last like that, because if you don't have the right measures in place, you can catch yourself burning your fingers, and we won't want to do that. So we take the lessons learned from that initial period, and also just what Michael and I have been able to build with BTY, the partnership that we've been able to cultivate, and how we've been able to make that relationship work, and just bringing it into H&B. And I think that's going to be valuable.
Definitely, man. Looking forward to that. And this little business retreat, I think this is a first for both of us.
Yeah, yeah.
And, essentially, you could call it a boys' weekend. You could call it a business retreat. We're going for a business retreat.
Yeah.
But it's been good to, I think the main thing that we've been doing in the last little while, in terms of first steps of starting this business now, is centralizing documents.
Yeah.
Because obviously now, with myself coming on board, we need to have a place where we can all access, the things we need. yeah, we need to build up marketing again.
Mm.
So there's lots of steps to take from here, but it's been good to just kind of put everything in one place, and now we can actually start to build on top of that foundation now.
Yeah. And what did you say is some of these documents that we're working on and putting into place without getting into it too much, but the legalities behind it for someone that's also maybe thinking of starting a business, setting it up, what registration documents is needed to comply with when it's in Namibia, because that's actually where this business is registered. Or
Yes.
yeah.
Well, Flip, I'd have to turn the question back to you because I think you know a bit more.
Alright.
But I know like what we've been trying to get together at the moment is obviously all our share agreements.
Yeah.
So obviously the purchasing of the shares from the people who were initially involved. All of those documents have been signed, but we need to just get that together for legal proof and so on. And then, there's things like the bank account and the accounting that we need in place.
Yes.
The actual registration of the business, like you said, the fitness certificate, the tax number.
Yes.
Are those? How far away would you say are we from having those things in place?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, they were already there, but now they need to be redrawn up with the new shareholders. Essentially, that's kind of also what we're busy up to.
Yeah, so currently we've sent in the details to the accountant so that they can register that and just do it with BIPA as well as NAMRA. So that's where the two businesses or not entities are linked if we're looking at governance. So with BIPA, that's where you register your business, and we've registered it as a closed corporation. And I know that's not available in South Africa anymore. Now you have to register it as a private limited company or a public limited company, so PTY Ltd or a Ltd itself, or maybe an NPO. So with these documents, then it means that you've got the seal that you're able to trade, you're going to be paying VAT, you will be able to get loans from the bank, and you'll be able to start the bank account, which we've done, but now we're just going to also reactivate it because it's been inactive, and we're looking at perhaps penalties that we need to pay because we haven't submitted any income statements showing what we've made, our net profit, and even if you submit it and it shows a zero, that's fine, just as long as Namibia knows what's happening.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of some of the pieces we have to pick up from the last year.
Yeah.
Where the business has been inactive, like you say. But yeah, so I guess that's a lot of the like almost dirty work that we have to do in this first month or so. But from there, we've had a bit of time to strategize on what we want to do, which involves a lot of leads, trying to cultivate leads, form partnerships, etc. So I do look forward to getting into that side of things. But yeah, we have to get ourselves all our papers correct before we can get there.
Yeah. And you're probably asking, why are we filming this? Why documenting our business process? But I think in this day and age, it's important. And from my stand, it is also just about being able to look back in a couple of years and see where we've started. So it's documenting it for ourselves, but also then being able to draw from this experience and having others being able to draw from this experience, so that we can be raw and honest about it and say, like, these are our challenges, this is where we've had some W's, this is where we've had some L's, and then look at how we've built this from the ground up. So starting from a point like zero, getting up to a point 50, and then maybe to 100.
And showing the struggles, the ups and the downs, etc. Yeah.
So I look forward to this documentary and just us going further into this.